You know, I always believed my life was a fairy tale, a story of love that started young, endured the test of time, and stood strong against all odds. My wife, Emily, and I were the couple everyone envied. We met in middle school, 12 years old, just kids. But from the very beginning, it was like we were made for each other. Through high school, through college, through every up and down, we stayed together. No breaks, no figuring things out. We knew we belonged together. By the time we were in college, it was basically a guarantee. Everyone assumed we'd get married. We were voted most likely to marry at prom. And sure enough, our junior year, I proposed. She said yes. We got married at 22, built a life together, had a daughter, our beautiful, perfect little girl. I thought we had it all, until I walked into my own home and discovered a nightmare I could never have imagined. To understand the depth of my betrayal, you need to know about the man who helped destroy my life, my stepfather. My parents divorced when I was just 6 years old. My mom remarried when I was 15. Her new husband, let's call him James, was the kind of guy people naturally gravitated toward. Tall, confident, athletic. He had played college basketball, even went overseas for a few years. But when his sports career didn't pan out, he became a roofer. He was hardworking, reliable, a guy you could count on. At least that's what I thought. He was never really the father figure type to me, but I respected him. My mom loved him, and that was enough for me. And Emily? She had known him as long as I had. He was just there, in our lives, at our family gatherings, in our conversations. There was nothing suspicious about it, or so I thought. That day started like any other. I was at work, closing sales, running numbers. My job in pharmaceutical sales meant I had an unpredictable schedule, but on that day, I was ahead. By lunchtime, I had crushed my quota, so I decided, why not? I'll head home early, surprise my wife, maybe take her out to lunch. I pulled into my street, and that's when I saw it. James's car, parked just down from my house. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe he was visiting a neighbor. Maybe he just happened to be in the area. It didn't even cross my mind that something could be wrong. I stepped inside through the side door, the one without the Ring camera. I always used this entrance. It was quicker, more convenient. I had no idea that by avoiding that front door, I was walking straight into my worst nightmare. The house was eerily quiet, except for one sound. It wasn't the TV, it wasn't music, it was something else. My gut tightened. I couldn't explain it, but something in me knew something was wrong. I crept up the stairs, my heartbeat getting louder with every step. And then I reached our bedroom door. I opened it, and my entire world shattered. There, in our bed, the bed we shared, the bed where we made love, the bed where we created a family, was my wife, with him, my 63-year-old stepfather. I stood there, frozen. They didn't even see me at first, didn't hear me, didn't sense that I was standing just a few feet away. For at least 12 seconds, I was just there, watching. My stomach twisted, my mind went blank. My hands clenched into fists, but I couldn't move. And then, Emily turned her head. Our eyes met. Her expression morphed from pleasure to horror. She scrambled away, covering herself with the sheets, while James, this man who had been in my life for over a decade, stared at me, caught in the act. And the only thing my wife could say? I just needed something different. That was it. No real explanation, no remorse, no apology. Just those 6 words that stabbed me deeper than any knife ever could. I don't remember what happened next, not in detail. I know there was yelling. I know I demanded answers. I know she sat there, trembling, repeating the same phrase over and over, as if it would somehow make it all better. I just needed something different. Different from what? From me. After 15 years together, after building a life, having a daughter, trusting her with my entire soul, she needed something different? And my stepfather? He barely spoke. He just sat there, caught in the wreckage he had helped create. That night, I left. I went straight to my mother's house, told her everything. She broke down. The man she had trusted, the man she had loved, had betrayed her just as much as he had betrayed me. My family fell apart that day. Divorce was inevitable. I had no choice but to get a paternity test. I needed to know. Was my daughter even mine? Thankfully she was, but the damage was already done. The betrayal wasn't just about my wife. It wasn't just about infidelity. It was about trust, about how someone you love can look you in the eyes for years and still lie. Emily begged for another chance. She cried, pleaded, promised it was a mistake. But you don't just accidentally sleep with your husband's stepfather. You don't just wake up one day and decide to betray the man you've been with since childhood. I don't know when it started. Maybe months ago. Maybe years. I'll never know the full truth. And honestly, I don't want to. Because knowing won't change the fact that the woman I loved and the man I trusted destroyed me. So where am I now? Trying to rebuild. Trying to move forward. Trying to be a better man for my daughter. Because she's the only thing that matters now. Some days the pain is unbearable. The memories haunt me. I question everything. Was any of it real? But I refuse to let their betrayal define me. I may have lost my wife. I may have lost my stepfather. But I will not lose myself. And if you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever had someone rip your heart out and stomp on it, know this: you will survive. You will heal. And one day, you will look back and realize that you were always better off without them. Betrayal is one of the hardest things to endure, especially when it comes from the people you trust the most. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that no matter how painful the experience, you can rebuild. You can find strength in the broken pieces. And most importantly, you deserve better. If you've ever faced betrayal like this, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Let's create a space where we can support each other through life's toughest moments. And if this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Your support means everything, and it helps me bring more real, raw, and emotional stories to you. Thank you for being here. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, your story isn't over yet. I'll see you in the next one.